So excited that we are diving into another adulting happy hour. We have some amazing women on tonight's training. And then again, if you're watching the recording, you're in for a wonderful 38 minutes around client acquisition or client attraction. So I'm going to dive right in and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as we talk through, make sure everyone can see. This is always the hardest part of every adulting happy hour is, can you see the presentation? Thumbs up. Yes. Can everyone see client attraction mastery? All right, let's do it then. So I'm Connie Kircher. I'm super, super excited. I am so passionate about really attracting and converting your clients. Okay. So like, I hope you feel my energy on tonight's training this is a no fluff guide. This is based off of me honestly sitting down because I'm a research, queen like this. That's my lane of expertise and looking at where the data lies for 2024 and where we're moving in 2025. So there are 3 strategies we're going to talk into and I'm going to coach into when it pertains to client attraction and you really building that muscle as a mastery muscle. So if you've not connected with me, Instagram, again, tomorrow, the YouTube channel will have this uploaded with all the magical descriptions and all the things that happen in terms of long form video format. And then if you haven't followed Elite Entrepreneur Coach, would love for you to check out all of the ways on social media to connect with me and obviously give a review after tonight's training. If I've done my job right as an adulting practitioner, would love to hear that on my Facebook page tomorrow. All right. So why do I call these things adulting happy hours? You actually have outcomes to grow as an adult, as a CEO. So there's going to be 3 different strategies. The first one is called value first content marketing. Beth, I think you're going to love this in terms of you really are moving towards, online structure and online acquisition. Again, everyone I think is going to dive into data-driven client acquisition. And remember, everything I coach for my clients and for these, workshops and these experiences is that I don't want you thinking about this, that you are your employee of your company. I want you coming to tonight's adulting happy hour as if you are your CEO, because you are the CEO of your company. So I'm providing the infrastructure or the long-term strategies. And then, yes, you will have to synthesize, how will this look on next Wednesday? How will I build that out into April? But for tonight, I want you to understand the not fluff of it. I want you to understand the concrete concepts. Okay. And then personally, I think the third strategy is the best. So if it's, me kind of like, okay, we're going to fly through the first one, we're going to fly through the second one, and we're really going to dive into the third one, I'm self-aware, because there is a concept called micro conversion strategy that I don't hear enough on podcasts. I don't hear enough coaches talking about this, and there's new research showing that this is where we need to move as entrepreneurs. So that is why I am going to lean into. I guarantee everyone watching this training has heard content marketing strategies. Call it a hunch. I think you would understand data-driven decisions are meaningful. We're going to lean into those. But I don't know how many of y'all have actually heard the research. And when I say micro conversion strategy, you're like, is that some type of facial with the laser? Like, I don't know what that means, Connie. So we're going to lean into that. Beth, that was a good one. Thanks for laughing. We're going to lean into that third one really, really detailed. And that's where I have a lot more examples. So get your pen ready and let's talk about value first content marketing. What I want you to lean into is write down 10, 10, 3, and 3. So this is a conglomerate of research that says, what is the frequency, the cadence when everyone's supposed to be doing education content for acquisition, for attraction on this? Here is the quote unquote best formula for you to be able to meet the client's needs, create a consistent content calendar, and then actually move them to conversion. So it may seem very repetitive for you as the CEO. I honor that when I coach this piece, but as the end user, as the client that needs triple the amount of touch points to build social proof, know, like, and trust, actually want to get into your pipeline, and actually even have a fighting chance to see some of these pieces of content marketing, here's the best strategy. So the first 10 I'm leaning into is you develop 10 pieces of educational content that showcases your expertise. So that could be a 3 to 7 minute video. Okay. And I'm not just making that up. It does not have to be a 30-minute full on training. It can be, again, a 3 to 7, which again, short to medium kind of format of content piece of video format, but make 10 different pieces. Okay. Then you focus another set of 10 trainings that are less than 3 minutes, that are 10 specific problem solving. And again, totally for free. So in each one of your industries, ladies, I want you to post this call, post this training, identify what's going to be my 10 educational pieces that are only unique to you, Krista, only unique to you, Stephanie, that you're like, this is my $10,000 an hour work that people, when they work with me, or I specialize in this type of contouring. If I'm Stacy and I'm like, all right, maybe eyeshadow is not my thing, but contouring palettes is like my jam. Then maybe you divide and conquer all those expertise pieces. Okay. So determine those. Determine and create what 10 solutions you are solving. Now, here's the rotation is out of those total of 20, you run those through 3 times in 3 different channels. So you choose if you're going to do an Instagram, a blog, and a newsletter. It is appropriate, okay, and actually a best practice now, if you're going to do value first content marketing, to run that through 3 times. So in a loving way, in the last, 72 days that we've all been here, in 2025, I bet you have created somewhere around 15 to 30 unique pieces of content, and your audience has never seen it again. That is not serving you well. And it's also not serving you well for the sustainability of your business, because you are constantly freaking out on what's the next thing I'm actually supposed to talk about. Okay. So value first content marketing says every quarter you get your 10 pieces of educational content. You get your 10 pieces of I'm problem solving. So it's more audience specific content value. And then I run it through 3 cycles. So again, in those 20 pieces, if you posted every 1.5 days, right? Like do the math of this. It's pretty plug and play. It's awesome. Then you just run it through. You run it through in February, you run it through in March, and then you start anew in April. Okay. And again, the ticker is, if you are not consistent in channel 5, 6, 7, 8 that we all could be having, that's okay. I want you to choose the diminishing returns is if you don't do it on 3 consistent channels. So let's say again, it's LinkedIn, it's YouTube, and it's in your blog, or it's your podcast, it's your Instagram, and it's your Facebook page. You choose the 3 channels, is that it actually needs to show the algorithm that you are getting new reach to the same pieces of content, because new eyes can get onto the new followers. And again, your non-followers, again, if we talk about value content of people coming into, let's say it's even your blog post, they may not read it that first time. And then you can all of this data, these best tips and tricks, and you just can your content marketing to talk about some other topic. People need repetition to follow you and actually convert. And because there are so many phonies out there in your industry, I bet you can think of some individuals that they aren't in the best of spirit of service, is that if you do not do this repetition where they constantly hear you talking about, these are the 5 things I solve, these are the 3 things I'm, incredibly passionate about. Here's again the video about that. We don't get tired of that when it's a corporation. We know that they make some adaptations, but we see the same thing over and over and over and over and over. But we as small business owners haven't figured that out yet. But welcome to Adulting Challenge, is that we need to start cycling that through on a more consistent basis. Okay. So I'm going to pause for 33 seconds. I want you to write down on your notes, because again, once we get done with this training, I'm going to hold space for Q&A. And for everyone watching the recording, I really do pause the video, is I want you to go, got it. I need to make now a list beside me, or I need to pull up a Word document, or I need to pull up a Trello board. when one of my calls to action, if I'm going to choose to prioritize value first content marketing, is I need to know what's going to be my 10 topics, what's going to be my 10 specific problem solving pieces that are completely free. None of these are opt-ins, none of these are workshops, none of these are I have to pay to play. It needs to be free solution content. And then I want you to choose what's your 3 channels going to be, and be okay as a CEO to go, the best practice is we need to cycle this through three times. So for example, I have a life coach in Dallas and she has a huge following on YouTube. So what we have been doing is all of her January tutorials. She's a success coach. Okay. So she talks a lot about, like, just what is that vision, success, comprehensive well-being. So we have taken her videos and we have cycled them with a new title, but saying, like, for March, key successes for, busy women. And what's happening is her viewership and her engagement are being like, thanks for the reminder. Because that's really what happens when you see a normal human multiple times. You don't usually just see someone one time and then it's like, I don't know what happened to them. They're talking about something else. Like, it is okay to reinforce that 3 cycle limit. So this is coming from even not the research side of me, but the actual practitioner side, to go, like, we are seeing when someone's like, thanks for the reminder. Oh my gosh, that I loved this video. People want that reinforced because it shows stability that you're not going anywhere as a business owner. Okay. Okay. Strategy 1, adulting 1. We're going to go to 2, and then we're going to spend some time on 3. All right. So here's the implementation steps that I'm going to break down for that strategy 1 to make sense. Create your core content pieces. Okay. That are really what you're doing to address your challenges that your top clients, that's really important, your top clients are facing. You're going to repurpose them in 3 formats and not freak out. Connie, but I belong to 17 different channels. I get that. But the strategy is you need to pick your top 3. Okay. In this, there needs to be some type of lead capture where they can opt in, they can schedule a call. That is appropriate, that when you cycle 2 and 3, add that element in. So this is the implementation step. In your first one, don't. The second one, they watch it again, they read it again, they listen to it again, have the opt-in be added to that link, that post, that blog, that fill in the blank. Okay. And then you, as the CEO, welcome to CEO Adulting Night. You're like, Connie, I think the training's done. I have enough work for the rest of the year, right? Is that then you need to analyze and understand, out of the 7, out of the 10 strategies, these 7 set on deaf ears. I got no engagement on them. I thought it was the best solution. I thought it was the best tip or trick. It's not. Well, now you have data-driven content pieces to go, that wasn't watched. Like, when I'm always looking at my YouTube channel, I'm like, marketing and sales strategies. But when I talk mindset, that really is not one of the highest viewership engaged follow-up pieces. So I'm like, cool. For quarter 2, that's not going to be a primary solution content piece for a quarter. Okay. So you're watching for what those 10 solution conversations are looking like and your 10 top topics are. That helps you on so many levels of attracting the right clients to say, okay, these are the 3 topics that my top clients are reinforcing, engaging, asking questions on. Okay. All right, let's go to number 2. So data-driven client acquisition. Give me a thumbs up that you can see this magical green, beautiful box. All right. So here is the researcher side of me, so that you have R&D in your business development. Okay. So R&D department in your company, you're like, I didn't know I had an R&D department. You are it. So yes, you are your research and development, leg of your company. Is I want you to determine one tool that you are going to track your marketing efforts. So in a loving way, if you haven't been doing that in terms of face-to-face networking, the ad in your local HOA, advertising, Amanda, like all those places, Stephanie, that you've marketed the horse experience, whether that be in secret Facebook groups, public Facebook groups, your own channels of your own marketing, right? I'm talking about your own channels. Please tell me there is somewhere in your CRM system, or I'd even be just fine with an Excel spreadsheet, that the last 72 days, How many people are engaging in those? How many conversations or conversion are happening in those? If you are putting all this money into client acquisition, marketing efforts, outreach, trying to be top of mind, and you're not tracking it, I'm going to say stop spending money on marketing dollars and stop networking and get that strategy put in place. Okay. Second is there is a tool, meaning social proof. If we know what social proof is, good for you. If you don't, that's okay because not a lot of people know what that means. Is that there needs to be a way that when people are hearing your name, your business name, your workshops, your specialty showcases, your signature talk, your events, they automatically associate that with Beth. They automatically associate that with Amanda. How are you tracking social proof? Okay. So that's an ROI that most individuals, it's like I don't know how my, let's say it's 1,000 followers. How do those 1,000 followers associate you within your industry? Have you done work to constantly reinforce this is what I do? I'm a strategy coach. I'm all things strategy. I talk about scaling your business. I'm not, I'm not the right coach for XYZ. Are you constantly making sure that your audience is hearing? And then how are you tracking that though? Like when you have an inquiry or when you have a comment on one of your posts, are you asking those individuals, oh my gosh, it's so great to connect with you again? Or if someone gets back on your calendar, are you tracking the keywords that is part of your marketing strategy and go, Krista talks my business language as I'm getting to know her in the last 15 minutes? What are the keywords that Krista just shared in this connect? So it's a way that if you like reflect on the last 2 weeks, I bet all of us have had connects. Please say yes. Yeah. Let's say today. Please, someone has had connect. 4 connects in for today for me. I keep a running log on, oh my gosh, Connie, I've been so excited to connect with you. Or, oh my gosh, Connie, I have so many questions about this area, or tell me more about this. And then I'll reinforce. And I'm like, okay, so to all that I coach or shared, and this again will be new individuals or people that are in my own circle of influence, I will ask, like, what's going to be the thing you're going to share about me? Like, what's going to be the thing that, makes me different to share as a business coach? And today, Andrea was like, awesome, Connie. I understand that you actually do scaling. Like, that is your unique piece. And I'm like, that's my social proof that I need to track the word scale because I said that word maybe 1.5 times the entire time, but that's what my differentiator was in her circle of influence. We never capture this, you guys. We are so freaking worried about our magical mastery messaging and running it through AI. And I'm like, what if we did active listening and asked every connect for the next 90 days? Because this is you analyzing this and saying, awesome, Amanda and I do a connect. And then at the end, I'm like, Amanda, you know what would actually be best of service? Could you give me the 2 to 3 ways that you would recommend me as a coach? Because I know, Amanda, you have other coaches in your networking groups, in your circle of influence. What would be the piece that you would put your stamp of approval on? And she's going to say, da, 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 da. Awesome. That's me needing to track what those keywords are. Because then you can use those keywords in your SEO. Then you can use those keywords in your content-driven strategies in your videos. Then you can use those keywords when you're on your next sales call. Is great. I just got off a connect with, with Amanda, and let's say I'm doing a 30-minute, consultation for coaching. And I'm like, this is what I hear all this year of when people are networking with me or they have coached with me. These are the 3 core ways that people see me as a coach. It's called social proof. It's not me having to sell. I see myself as a strategist. Please buy all my programs. It's me honestly saying, my clients, when they work with me, here's what they say about my style of coaching. How powerful is that? Okay. Okay. Last but not least is I'm giving you permission to reallocate 80% of your financial resources to only proven ROI. So you've got 3 more weeks to clean up March if you're watching this live or if you're at tonight's training. But every quarter should be a reallocation to say, where are my marketing dollars going? And if it's not going to true ROI, like when I hear clients be like, I'm still in the red on that campaign. I'm like, what? We gave it a quarter. Why are we still renewing that? Why are we buying that leads list again? Why did we just spend ad space for the 17th time? Okay. So it's you every quarter choosing data-driven client acquisition to say 80% of my resources need to be on proven ROI. And then it's giving yourself, again, 20% of innovative investment. If you're like, Connie, this one sponsorship opportunity, it's gonna be it. Don't give 80% of your marketing budget to that, right? Give 20% of innovation. I'm okay positioning to pay for this table, pay for this swag bag, pay for an ad space in this. But I find there is almost no limit for some of my clients. Like you just do a self reflection right now. Do you have a threshold to say, I only put 80% of my marketing dollars on what I know attracts and converts clients? Or do you go, I spend 20% on stuff that I know works and I try 80%? I love you all. Mic drop. Let's stop doing that. Okay. So you having a threshold as a data-driven CEO to say 80% is burn and turn. I know this works. I know this lead generation tool works for me. And everyone is going to be different in our industry, but stop allocating only 20%. Double down on what has ROI and only give yourself 20% of that budget to go try new things. Sign up once a quarter to sponsor that golf league instead of 80% of your dollars being out just to try it. That does not work for client acquisition. You all have red lines in your monthly P&L sheets being like, I probably shouldn't have signed up for that. But you probably didn't have a threshold of the 80-20 rule in that. Okay. All right. Let's close out with, again, maybe my favorite part, but I am biased, of implementation steps. And then we get to the third strategy. So you are going to figure out your comprehensive dashboard or your comprehensive tool. Again, if it's an Excel spreadsheet, love it, so that you become more data driven. I always say success leaves clues. So the successful individuals that didn't blink at your price point, went into your sales funnel appropriately, and are people you want to, kind of multiply, that's where we should be spending our time in analyzing what's the themes around those individuals, not how do I get brand new humans. No, keep duplicating what's working for the humans that you enjoy, and that was a successful sales pipeline. Okay. Establish your KPIs for each one of those strategies. And again, that social proof strategy of what's going to be the verbiage back and forth and how am I going to track that? So I use those keywords 20 times this month. That's something that I track for social proof. If I hear a new way people are talking about how I'm coaching, I'm like, cool, Connie, run that through the pipeline 20 times and see if that still reinforces my social proof or if I need to go a different direction in networking and consultations in my post. That's a tangible way how I track that. Okay. Then every 90 days, you're doing a little bit of regular testing and you're sitting down and being like, where were the dollars spent, sunshine? Oh, I only get to spend 20% of those dollars on new, decisions because I need to keep 80% to multiply and to have that compound in my efforts. And then making sure that you're setting aside time, a dashboard. All right. So let's close out with micro conversion strategy. Like write that down, micro conversion. And this is what I mean is we do not have enough touch points to smaller yeses. So the approach of a micro conversion strategy, and I have 3 beautiful examples of my real life clients that I typed up with my little fingernails tonight to make sure that, like, again, I always say, like, I will prepare to a point so that you can hear real life stories on these adulting trainings because I want you to not get fluff. I want you to go, how are humans actually using these strategies? Okay. So real life is, I hope I'm inspiring you and getting the wheels turning to go, there has to be those micro conversion options for people that are on your mailing list, going to your events, checking out the consultations, going to the farm. There still needs to be micro, smaller yeses. So, first example is a web design agent. So, I have a client that does about $5,000 website development packages. It wouldn't make sense to do all the data driven marketing. She has her 10, 10, 3, 3 down, right? She's like, yeah, I got it. Rah, rah, rah. But then it's like her only conversion option is, hi, I do a 30-minute complimentary website design, conversation. And then please pay me $5,000 to work with me. Okay. So this is real life 7 yeses that we came up with to go. She goes, I can't convert them in that. And I'm like, I don't even know if I would be converted in that. Like, I would need a couple more interactions with you to know that this is the right moving place. So, download a free website audit checklist. If that's not something that's in her one mini yeses, very low commitment, no dollar amount. A 2-minute what's your website personality quiz, where she just showcases and says, are you more creative? Are you more technical? You know what I mean? Like, she just created, and there's all these free programs that you can create your own. You don't have to go outsource that as another tool for her to put out when she made one of her pieces of content, to be like, hey, check out my quiz for this month to figure out what your website personality is before you ever work with my agency. It's helpful to kind of know what your website personality is. Okay. We had her build 10-minute case studies of her working with a website designer for a dog groomer, and then after a dog groomer, of what it looked like. And we just recorded that. She literally showed the screen before and after, and we put it on all of her channels. And how many times did we cycle it? 3. Okay. But this is another mini yes to watch her expertise, her skill set in an engaging way. Then we talked about scheduling a 15-minute website review that was completely complimentary. So different than a 30-minute consultation that is more of a sales call. So we cycled through that as a micro yes. Then we started to build an option of a $47 just website blueprint document, where it literally is, if you want to kind of get the wheels turning and you're still exploring web designers, here's a blueprint to get you started for whenever you are ready. Okay, that was another micro yes. Then we created a 197 website planning workshop. It was freaking amazing. She didn't even have to upsell her $5,000 website package, because at some point, because we did the data on this, they did 3 of these touch points to get to that webinar. But ladies, I'm going to encourage you. You probably all are starting at 5, 6, and 7. So so break this down. This is why I'm like, y'all, you got 2 more examples. This is gold. Do you have an example of 1, 2, 3, 4, and even 5 in your business model that's just part of your weekly conversation, your postings, your emails, your call to action, your links before you go? Do you want to work with me and just do a consultation? And then we did do a full on, if you just did a mock up page. So someone that was like, I just need a landing page. Well, then they did the landing page and they're like, I need more than a landing page. Amen, sister. You need more than a landing page. But she offered a micro yes for just a mock-up homepage if they wanted to run with it. It got them started. And then again, if they wanted to, get on her calendar for the next month to actually do an entire website development. Helpful to see these micro yeses. Okay, let's go. I want you to keep the wheels turning as you're watching this training to go, what could yours be? So then one of my clients is a financial advisor, and she has a retainer for her clients, and then it's about $3,000 for her to manage. And she's a wealth kind of management portfolio, estate planning expertise person. Okay. She was getting referral after referral after referral. I mean, she had the biggest referral network in the world, and it was the right clientele, but there was no way to get to know her more. There was like a black and white website, and it just like, hi, I'm your financial advisor and estate planner. Okay. So we created all of these micro yeses as part of her. Hey, before we even get on that consultation, I have a retirement calculator spreadsheet. I'm going to send that to you. Then I have these 5 retirement planning mistakes webinar. It's recorded. I'm just going to send that to you. That's another yes. Would that be of service? Would you like that? No time off of her, calendar. Then she had this 5-minute financial health assessment. I think we found it on a third-party website that she was like, before we even meet, and if you have shame and guilt around money, which 99% of her clients do, why don't you just take this health assessment so that we'll have some things to talk about if you want to move forward with a consultation. Then we asked her, then touch point 4 was finally, if you want my money, just minute email tips that I send once a month, here's that specific inquiry list. Then we created a $37 personal budget optimization guide. It was a 5-page download. Okay. Then number 6 was the actual 30-minute financial review. Do you see the micro yeses to get to a point that then they either went into this financial roadmap session for 90 minutes with her, or they just said, awesome, trust you, got it. I worked through my own mindset stuff and I did a couple touch points of your tools. And now I'm ready to have you be my financial advisor and wealth manager. Do you have these things in your business? One more example, and then we're going to cross share. So as a health coach, hey, some of y'all are going to be super relatable to this. Instead of just going to work with me is 6 months to, $2,400, you get all of these things. And then, instead of doing the and then approach of client acquisition, bonus this, why don't we do a runway of micro yeses? So we created a free meal planning template for anyone that was just in her sphere of influence. If they wanted this free meal, planning, not like free planning to then move into my 6-month coaching. No, just if you want this meal planning template, what could that be for you all on this call? Then we had multiple 5-day healthy habit challenges, completely complimentary, ways to get to know her style, quick little 10-minute videos. And it was a 5-day challenge and then they were out. Okay. Then we did that transformation story again. So here is a mom that we did transformation. Here is a retirement person that we worked with for transformation. Here was a family we did for, a physical and health transformation. So she had all of this video documentation of this is what it's like to work with me from their lens, their transformation. Then again, an assessment. What is your metabolic type? Found it for a third-party way to just go, hey, for this week, if you want to know your metabolic type, take this little quiz. Look forward to, hearing your results. Then we moved to littler micro yeses, an energy boosting recipe book for 27 buckaroonies, a $67 intro of just nutritional 101, and then a jumpstart program. And then they were ready to convert. Okay. So I say all of this to make sure that you have robust examples. Watch the recording again to say the sweet spot of 5 to 7 micro conversions that they can easily go, yep, I want to work with Stephanie. Yep, I want to work with Amanda. Yep, I've done it again. Yep, Krista, I want to be part of this. Krista, now I understand why advertising is important in this. Now I understand if magazine marketing is right for me, take this quiz here. Super. That's already, one no that you're not going to have to work through in their consultation. I would really encourage you to out of 1, 2, and 3, focus on what these 7 micro yeses are. Okay. So I'm going to close with, and again, we're going to cross share. If you are needing support in strategy, right? So we went really deep on strategy. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy right now though. Really deep on strategy. Is twice a year I offer a summer and I offer a fall cohort. Okay. So if this is something that you're like, yes, Connie, I'm not ready. This is even me modeling for you all, right? I'm not ready to do full on one-on-one coaching for the next 20 years of my life. I also don't need to keep showing up at some of the micro yeses and, learning opportunities, but you're at that middle kind of yes opportunity. This is a way to have an entry point where it's a 4-month commitment. There's one-on-one customized coaching and there's group coaching where we talk about strategy and acquisition and this kind of on steroids, if you will. So once we complete this training, comment in the notes section of the Zoom call, or if you're watching the video, comment strategy, and then I will give you the link to be able to join that and kick off in May 1st. I only do 10 spots for that, but it's a container for you to have accountability, to deepen what it means to actually do a CEO strategy lens When it gets slower, May, June, July, August does not have to be a slow 120 days in your business model. It is a perfect priming time to get some of these strategies in place for the fall. Okay. So that's my call to action. That's my micro yes to model for each one of you. I'm going to stop the share and we are going to cross share your greatest takeaways and questions in 12 minutes. All right. So circle your ahas in micro conversion. Take a drink of your specialty drink and wish you had something stronger in it now. Right. But I want to hear from everyone in rotation. And we're going to start with Amanda and then we're going to go to Stephanie. Ahas, implementation. How did you just level up your adulting?
I think that the aha was kind of how you, the 10-10-3, I think is something that I struggle with, just figuring out how to put those pieces together and the content strategy of it all. And then what was the second part?
Yep. How are you going to, what's the commitment once you get off this Zoom call and tomorrow's Wednesday? What's your number one I'm going to implement and take action on now that I've leveled up my adulting strategy?
I've started about 3 different lead magnets and they're all in probably 80% finished form. So I just need to finish that. Like I just need to pick one and do it. I have a question though. So that's my action. I have a question on like the second strategy for data driven. So
Yeah.
how long do you recommend using the data strategy before you chuck it?
I do a minimum of 90 days. I prefer 2 quarters and then I make a decision.
Okay, that's helpful.
I
Thank
do
you.
not do a one and done. If I sign up for something and I attend it 3 times, I'm usually probably know if it's going to be a fit. If it's not going to be a fit, I don't do it in just a one time. I typically try to give it a runway of data. Typically is best analyzed within a 6-month window, especially for us like marketing dollars time. One time is not enough. 1 year is you're bleeding out money that's not even working for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Great question, Amanda. Awesome. Amanda, one call to action because I'm a completion coach. Hi. One lead magnet by when?
I think I need a week probably. So
Super.
yeah, I'm trying to look at the calendar. Yeah, like the 20th.
Okay. By 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, make this concrete, sweet friend. 5 p.m., the lead magnet is created and you've sent it to 5 people to review and see if it works because that's phase 2 of the lead magnet that most people get kind of analysis paralysis and it's not done until 2027. So by 5 p.m., you have sent it out to 3 people to review, make sure the links work, and then you can keep moving with that tool.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Stephanie, let's rock. And then Diane.
First of all, Connie, I loved it. It was awesome. Took copious notes. Um, for me, my action plan is something I started already and I will have done, I would say next Tuesday by 5. Um, and that is redoing my nurturing campaign around my new community, my CEO community. I'm really excited about starting, just upgrading that. Also
Yeah.
with the texting campaign as well, texting and email.
Awesome.
I have always wanted to do a quiz. That has been something that's been spinning around for the last year. So that is another thing I want to do and develop. Question on that, Connie. You said there was some free places to do that. I know I had a couple of my clients do that and they were amazing. Do you have one that you love?
Um, I will look at exactly what it's called, but it is something create your quiz. I will take a call to action and make sure, because I'm sure there's 5,000 websites that's called create your quiz. Let me look at the 2 that I know have been complimentary. They don't get too finicky from the user. And I'm happy to send that. And actually what I'll do, ladies, is when there's a resource or a guide for that, when this gets uploaded tomorrow. So again, always modeling for how you do this. That's social proof that one of my clients, one of my individuals is needing a tool. I'm writing that down to go, that just stuck, and Amanda stuck the 10-10-3-3. When you then repurpose the content, which I'm doing tomorrow, it's kind of weird because I'm teaching y'all to do it and then I freaking do it to y'all. But then I repurpose the content tomorrow, right? I then put the major outcomes to be like, here's the tool, here's the thing. Because what does it do? Instead of me just sending that to Stephanie, this is so freaking good. I'm sending it as another social proof on my channel to that, because it's one of my 3 main channels. I'm modeling this for you all to show engagement in that, to show that, hey, Stephanie asked the question of this. This might be a primary need for one of my audience members. Like, do not just keep it and then funnel it to like an email. Like if Beth asks me a question, I'm not going to be like, super Beth, I'm going to give you all the magical thing to just Beth. I'm going to get social proof and be like, hey, super, I'm going to put that on my Instagram tools, or I'm going to put that on a resource on my website, and I'm going to always direct them to the channels. Do you see that as a CEO, what I'm doing? It's weird because I'm doing it as I'm teaching you it. But Stephanie needing that, Stephanie going, that's a value that she needs. I mean, it's needing that support, that I'm going to put it in already the channels that I have. Okay. So Stephanie, happy to do that.
Thank you.
Good.
Appreciate it.
So good. All right, Diane, super excited to hear your outcomes and commitments.
I'm way at the beginning of everything, starting over. But I have to tell you, I just love this, and I'll tell you why specifically. When I watched those 2 examples of micro implementations, the last
Okay.
2, the one
Yep.
with the web designer and the one with the financial thing, excellent. I've done all kinds of marketing, and like anyway, I'm going to skip all that. But honestly, it's the best thing I've seen. Great
Good.
ideas.
Good.
And even at where I'm at, which is way underneath everybody else, which doesn't bother me because I'm on a changing path. And so
Amen.
what I really like is the idea of setting it up. You broke it down quickly. You put it into, I don't have questions. I don't have
Good.
that many questions. If I were implementing this right away, like maybe many of the other ladies are, it's
Yep.
excellent. I
Good.
just find that even if I get my stuff back up on Shopify and open that back up again, I know I could do a little video up front. I could have little sayings. There are many
There
things
you
that
go.
I can implement as
There
I
you
go.
There you go.
You
And I
know,
like to make it systemized, not to feel
yep,
confined, but to
yes.
feel consistent, right? So that's why I say make 5 to 7 yeses and
hmm
cycle those for 90 days so that you don't have
hmm
to go, oh, I've been wanting that opt-in. I should make that video. Just do it and cycle it 3 times.
I found that in marketing on Facebook with just my page to click on, I had a number of photos of my art pieces and people watched them. When I sold my serger this last week on marketplace, I found that more people almost watched the video of the machine running than they did. You see what I mean? I love the way you think about the
Yep.
marketing. So
You
anyway,
need
that's
micro yeses,
yes.
not click here, buy here, do the thing. That is
Yep.
a macro conversion technique. We need
Yep.
micro conversions to happen.
And
Awesome.
then switching that video up a little bit, even with just the pictures. I mean,
Yep.
you can have an under talk. You don't need too much.
Yep.
Simple
So
is
good.
easy. Yeah. So
So
there I
good.
am.
Thank you. Thank you, Diane. That's so good. All right, Krista and then Beth.
So I like the micro yeses, but I need to sit with that a little bit and I need to really kind of think about it. Because for me, my uncle has been doing a lot of the sales contacts, so I haven't had that kind of thing. I can see where it's going and I need to put some thought into it and maybe give him some ideas. But the thing that I had my aha moment when you were talking about, the sharing the content in 3 different places. We've got a part of our magazine that we publish every month that is debunking, myths, farming myths or things around whatever. And it literally exists only in that magazine. But I went, oh my God, we got to put that on our LinkedIn. We got to put that on our Facebook. We need to share that in other places so that it's being repeated. So that was for sure was a aha moment for me to work on implementing that. So.
And taking the data driven, so take strategy 2 with strategy 1, taking data driven to go, I know that the social proof of what our magazine does is to these 3 headers, so that when you share it next Tuesday, It's with a different header to a different type of farmer. Then you share the same article on the next Tuesday, but it's
Yep.
to a different type of farmer or to a different, again, from data driven, you would know, okay, I need to tailor that just quick little 2-line sentence to say, if you're a farmer that does this, here's this one. And then you repurpose it again with a different title saying, if you are, selling your farming business, this is what you need to know. So do you see how I would repurpose that? It's not the exact same verbiage, but it's the social proof words that that's why people are reading that magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like it.
Awesome. Awesome, Krista. I love it. Okay, Beth, takeaways.
Oh, one of the things that I just went, oh, thank goodness. I've been trying to do all the content in months, in 30 days, and to do it in a quarter is like, oh, I can do that. And so I like systems. So that is really key to me. I love that. But I am really focused on Facebook and learning Facebook and knowing that's probably where most of my clients are.
Okay.
Can I put it in my profile, my business page, my group, and then in my newsletter? Can I use that formula?
Yes.
Okay. And then how do I change it up so it seems fresh and new, or does it really even need to be? I mean,
Great question.
I love your farmer, a different kind of farmer every week.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I guess, if you're suffering in pain one week, or if you have no
Yes.
energy one week, or,
Yes.
that
You're a
kind of
new,
thing.
yeah, you're a new grandma is one of the, campaigns, but you repurpose all of the experiences. You're preparing to go do your bucket list trip. I'm going to give you 10 more, Beth. You are
Okay.
like truly like you are ready to take your health journey to the next level and be the most vibrant. Here's some tips or here's some best practices with the same piece of content that highlights that. You have just recovered from surgery because again, that population is going to know. You have just came from a bad interaction with your family doctor or practitioner. Here's maybe some proactive things you could do. Regenerative health 2025 is where we're heading. Here, there's already 10 headers with the same beautiful short video content that is all the glory of Beth.
Okay. Okay. I can do that. And I love just making 20. I was trying to think of that, 20 things and putting them out in a month. And that was just like daunting.
But now you'll cycle that, right? Like now I
Now
just
yeah,
can't.
for
Yeah.
a quarter, for a whole quarter.
Yep. Yep.
So yes.
So
Mhm.
even my reels even are, okay, I'm going to segment this to group coaching, or I'm going to segment this to a solution on this, or I'm going to segment this to this type of female business owner. And I literally will repurpose a reel from 4 months ago that I look at the analytics and I go, that one got the most engagement of my non-followers, which I'm trying to always look at that next tier of outreach. So I will look in my Instagram data points, and I will also look in my YouTube data points. And I'm like, cool, those ones got the most traction. That's the one I'm repurposing and uploading again. It's the same freaking video, but I changed the title and I changed the description with the same, hey, we're going to talk about strategy for XYZ.
Okay. And I love that. So, lots of notes.
Okay,
Lots.
so good. So I'm going to stop the recording here. I don't want to push end. I want to push stop the recording.